Hi Georgies, welcome to another episode of Study with Mr. K. Alright, today we're going to be doing tourism, topic 1. Right, so for tourism topic 1, we're mainly looking at a few things. Firstly, we're mainly looking at what is the what part, okay? What is the tourism system? And when we look at tourism system, we will look at the key components, which includes, what does it include? It includes the tourist generating region, and then it also includes the tourist destination region, okay? And a tourism system is then formed. So when tourist generating region generates tourists, the destination region, that forms the transit route. Okay? Right. And it is actually vice versa, this system over here. So you can see this is the tourism system that we are talking about. Alright, and this is not unfamiliar to any of them. And in terms of transit routes, what are we looking at? We're looking at the volume, we are looking at the direction, right? Okay, so that is that. So the key components of a tourism system, basically at the tourist generating region, it sends people to the tourist destination regions via transit routes. And on the other hand, you can see that the volume and the direction, is determined or influenced by transit routes that are being available. Okay, and the volume of travel will increase if there is actually more transit routes. This volume will increase. Okay, so you can see over here, if we go to a map such as this, okay, I'm not sure why this is a blur. Let me just share. Let me just search for flow line map. Alright, flow line map. Okay, so you can see over here, these are the major routes that is between different regions. Okay, and these are some samples. Alright, and you can see, let me just find a clearer one. Apparently there's no clearer one, but that doesn't matter. This is immigration. So let me see. So tourism map can look something like this. Okay, you can see that this is something that you have learned in Sec 2 as well, the transport nodes. Okay, so please do use your lower sec knowledge to really make sense of what is happening, right? So you can see when the volume of travel increase, with more transit routes, so it becomes thicker. Okay, it could be either from the generating or the destination region. So and sometimes, the length of this transit routes, the length also can be shorter, which reduce traveling time and is more convenient because the transit routes are usually direct, right? So there is a difference between a direct flight and a non-direct flight. Okay, so you need to be able to know that some people choose to have direct flight, some people choose to have a stopover, a layover at airport, so on and so forth. So if you were to go from Singapore to London, for example, sometimes when you take the Emirates, you will stop at Doha, Dubai, so on and so forth, before making another 6 to 7 hours to London. right? So that's an example. Okay, so the influence of transit routes is very important. Okay, it shows volume, it shows direction, okay, and it also mimics the factors that actually affect a tourist going to a destination region. For example, from Singapore, let's say for example, from Singapore to London, there is more than 10 flights available every single day, as compared to from Singapore to Madagascar, there's only one direct flight, perhaps in once in 2 weeks. So which flight would you have taken? That actually influence the choice of a tourist. All right. So that is for topic one. What is a tourist system, right? So that's for topic 1.1. Okay. So next, let us move on to the next component. Still under what is a tourist system. Okay, we talk about another thing. You see, in GL we talk about relationship. In tourist, we also talk about relationship. We need to know the relationship between TGR and TDR, right? So you can see there are push or pull factors that influence these two tourist destination or generating region, and this is all dependent on tourists, businesses, organizations, so on and so forth at both sides. And that is the relationship. The push and pull factors, okay, could be, why do tourist generating regions push tourists to the tourist destination region? Is because there could be lack of recreation. Why do Singaporeans travel so much? Why do Singaporeans travel so much to maybe Japan? Okay, because they are able to offer 4 seasons. The environment is very different. Okay, it could be of course in other places it could be a factor of unpleasant living conditions, so it could be many factors. And the pull factors, okay, why people go to Japan, it could be many other factors. It could be different tourists trying to have a taste of scenic beauties that you can't see in Singapore. So Japan, they have so many things. They have mountains, they have Mount Fuji, they have good food, they have good culture, there are 4 seasons, so on and so forth. So it is very different, right? And one of the push factor from Singapore could then be because of our hectic lives. Okay, I'm not sure whether this statistic is true, but many teachers travel during their school holidays, and this is the only time whereby we can travel. So what's the push factor over here? The push factor is actually just getting away from the hectic life or work back in Singapore, right? So yeah. Okay, so back to the relationship. Okay, so this relationship over here between tourist, business, and organization, they are actually interdependent. Alright, they are actually interdependent. Why do you say that? Okay, so this is a kind of relationship. Interdependency is a kind of relationship. Alright, so you can see how do I want my students to see visually? Could be perhaps something like this. This is dependent on, so it could be 2 ways, right? It could be 2 ways, and it could be, it could be this. So tourists, business, organization, this is how everyone should think. Okay, for example, I give an example. The tourist is dependent on the provision. When we choose a certain place, okay, it will be dependent on what kind of businesses is at this certain country, right? And that is actually a pull factor. And also at the same time, if there is good accommodation, okay, nice hotels, nice activities, so on and so forth, that will attract people, right? And tourists will require infrastructure. Okay, infrastructure from who? Organizations such as government. They need to develop the infrastructure, right? They need to develop the infrastructure. So that is that. Okay, and last but not least, uh, this whole relationship that we are looking at is a very important subset of this system that we have been looking at. Okay, this system is full of relationship, and this is just one of the over here. This is just one of the relationship. All right, one of the relationship that we can talk about, and you can see we compare this to GEL. Okay, the key idea over here is about relationship. Okay, in GL the relationship was between people and nature. The relationship here is between tourist generating region and tourist destination region. So that's that. Let's move on. Okay, there is actually something between. So what is tourism system? There is a third thing that I want to talk about. It is how, after you establish the relationship, we talk about the interactions, right? The interactions between who? Between tourism and environment. Okay, so one of the relationship is that tourism does interact with the environment. Okay, and the environment consists of nature, it consists of communities, it consists of different economies, right? And in fact, these, you can call these your ecosystems in the tourist system, right? And you can say what you do need to note, okay, is that you need to note that there are interactions between tourism and environment. Okay, there are interactions over here. Okay, and these interactions will result in impacts, which we will talk about it in the next chapter. Okay, so there are impacts. So some of these impacts could be environmental, it could be economic, it can be social, right? So economic, social, and environmental. Alright, so in the big picture, you could look at the different examples, right? I've talked about in many of my lectures or lessons about how of these environmental impacts could lead to a degradation of the place, right? And there are many impacts that I will talk about in topic 2. Okay, so that's that. Alright, so let us now move on to topic 1.2. Okay, for topic 1.2, okay, so now we establish the basic information. I call this information. Let us now go into something else, which is topic 1.2, whereby what led to the growth of tourism. Okay, the growth of tourism. So that's topic 1.2, right? So for growth of tourism, we need to take note, okay, that there are a few things to take note. So what led to the growth of tourism? Firstly, okay, the motivation to travel, how individuals seek relaxation, self-fulfillment, and unique travel experience. And this is usually made possible by the growth of income. So why are there different motivations to travel? Okay, the motivation to travel, it could be for relaxation, it could be to rejuvenate, so on and so forth. So please do look at them. And some, it could be for self-fulfillment. Okay, it could also be for unique travel experiences, right? So these are reasons to travel. And why though? Okay, because firstly, there is a growth in income. Okay, and the growth in income is only made possible because people disposable income has increased. That means there are more savings, there are more money that are not spent on on essentials. Alright, so that's that. Next, we can also talk about the ability to travel. The ability to travel. And this is actually under this ability to travel. Okay, disposable income. There is an increase in leisure time as well. Okay, so go and look at why are there an increase in leisure time, right? Go and look at why there are increase in business innovation. Why are there lower transport costs? And last but not least, lower accommodation costs. Right, these are factors that affects the ability to travel. Alright, and you can look at all these factors to make sure that you understand all these factors. Like for example, innovations, business innovations. Okay, internet is one of the business innovation that has happened in the 2000s, right? The introduction of websites such as Trip.com, Agoda, Expedia, Airbnb. It allows the traveler to make comparison between various accommodations. Okay, and at the same time, transport cost has decreased. Why is that so? Because it has been made cheaper. Right? Right now, we have the A380, which is able to achieve the economies of scale. What is economy of scale? What does economy of scales mean? It simply means that there is an advantage of large scale production. Alright, that means A380, maybe before then the planes can only take 60 passengers, but right now it is 200, 300. So it achieved that economy of scale. So therefore, transport costs actually went down, right? So this is just one example, right? So next, we look at the third point, which is mobility to travel. For mobility in travel. Okay, for mobility in travel, it can be due to a few factors. Okay, firstly, it is due to the expansion of public transport. And services and infra, right? And next, it is also due to there are new modes of travel. And last but not least, increase private car ownership. Right? So you can look, let's now look at these three factors in terms of mobility. Okay, for mobility, we need to understand that the expansion of public transport services and infrastructure actually provided, what's the important point over here? It actually provided greater connectivity. I think that is the main pointer over here. It increases connectivity within different parts of the country, or even between countries as well. And the expansion of infrastructure, it increases not just connectivity, it also increases accessibility and also at the same time convenience. Alright, so these are the three. I call these you can call this CCA lah, let's just call it CCA. Okay, let's call them that. CCA, right? So connectivity, convenience, and accessibility. This is also something that you have learned in Sec 2 Geography in transport, right? And the new modes of travel, we are talking about how there are new modes of travel. For example, your bullet train. For example, that can shorten hours of traveling, okay, to minutes, right? Your bullet trains. And last but not least, your new mode of transport also can talk about budget airlines. Okay, the budget airline is a pretty new concept. It allows, what does it allow? It allows low cost traveling, so which means bulk traveling. Okay, and it actually allows people to spend lesser, okay, and still travel at the same time. So this allow more travelers and increase in the demand for traveling over here, right? So at the end of the day, okay, you need to understand that these factors actually are important to these three factors over here. Okay, it led to the growth of tourism. Right? These three factors led to the growth of tourism. Alright, so that is that. Okay, and last but not least, for topic 1.3, okay, let's go right here. Topic 1.3, let's zoom in. Okay, topic 1.3, okay, third portion, we talk about the different stages. Because we are finding out how do tourist destination region develop over time. Alright, so for this, it is very clinical, I will say. Over here, you see your graphs, okay. Basically, this is any graphs. This is a very, very, very common graph, alright, in terms of development, in terms of even your own growth. Just remember your own growth, right? Your own growth, how from maybe sec 1 to sec 4, sec 1 to sec 4, this is your growth. This could be your growth, or maybe this is from 0 years old to maybe 20 years old, so on and so forth, right? So these are just example for you to understand these development stages. So in these development stages, there are basically 7 stages. These 7 stages could be tested in a way whereby you need to explain what are these 7 stages, right? So you need to explain all these 7 stages, and I'm going to try to explain the different stages. Okay, first of all, let's talk about stages, right? So the different stages, what are the different stages? The first stage, okay, exploration. Okay, I don't need to write the stage, let's not write the stage. Okay, exploration. So for exploration, what is the main characteristics? The main characteristics is that it is usually visited by small amount of tourists, right? And most of tourist destination region, they started off with that. Okay, it can be small amount of tourists coming in, okay, but you need to also understand that sometimes not all places develop in the same manner or even develop through all stages. They may skip some stages, okay. And next we talk about why do these small amount of tourists come. It could be because there are some features that is interesting to them. It could be scenic beauty. It could be perhaps history. Okay? Usually it is not about shopping centers. Usually it's about something that's unique about a certain place, right? So that's for exploration. Next, we talk about the involvement stage. Right? For involvement stage, what's the difference between an involvement stage and exploration stage? Okay, is that, hey, there is an increased awareness about this place. And there are some benefits really. What are some of these benefits of tourism involved? For example, usually the local, which is businesses, they'll start to offer some form of services, right? There will be some public facilities. Okay, by the government, perhaps. Okay, so you can see all these over here, if we were to connect, we are actually connecting all the way. Okay, I'm going to draw a very long line. We're connecting all the way here to this. Okay, which we have talked about it just now. It is about relationship between the tourist, business, and organization. You can see how tourist, business, and organization is coming in to these stages to get their involvement. So it's very dependent. Alright, that this relationship is very dependent on each other, and there must be some form of services in terms of involvement stage. Third, let's go on to the third stage, which is the development stage. Okay, so what's the difference between development stage? Here you have more tourists coming in, that's for sure. Alright, and you have what is unique over here. It is your man-made attractions, because tourists does not just rely on one thing. Okay, tourists does not just rely on one single thing, right? Tourists are attracted because they are man-made attractions. What are some examples of man-made attractions? It could be hotel chains, it could be casinos, it could be theme parks, so on and so forth, right? So there will be more man-made attractions that's going to be made, and these man-made attractions includes facilities, amenities, and basically the example in the textbook, you can use Vietnam's or not, maybe I just give you another example. Like for Singapore, what was our man-made attraction that attracted people to come in the very early days? It was things like Haw Villa, a man-made place that showcased the different levels of hell, for example, right? Those are man-made. And that is the development stage. So for the fourth, the consolidation stage. For consolidation stage, key thing over here, tourists more than locals is key over here. And the main economic activity is tourism, right? Most of the workers are employed. So employment, and here you can see there's fewer new things being built, new attractions being built. That means they are built slower, right? And basically the key word over here is that at the consolidation stage, things have slowed down, right? And it is whereby at this juncture, if you look at your map, at the consolidation stage, it is somewhere here. It is this, I would say, will be the most critical. How your 5, how it can go 5, 6 or 7, right? 5, 6 or 7. So 5, it can go into stagnation. For stagnation, tourist has peaked. Stagnation, that means tourist has peaked. Tourist has reached a very important idea over here, the carrying capacity. And the amount of tourists has reached carrying capacity, and these causes negative impacts, such as an overload on the environment, an overload on the transport system. There are many negative consequences because of the large amount of tourists. So some of these examples are some perhaps Phuket's environment has degraded because of tourists exceeding carrying capacity. So that is that. So the region or the place will have to endure the negative impacts, right? And then the six, which is the decline, or number seven, the rejuvenation stage, okay, is where tourist number goes down, it declines. That's most important, okay. And if there are no addition, any more rejuvenation, okay, a place will decline. And there's an example of Blackpool, right, in your textbook, right? And if there is a rejuvenation, which is the example of Blackpool again, trying to rebrand itself, okay, trying to redevelop itself, okay. And yeah, so you can see over here, these 7 stages clearly, okay, indicates the relationship over here. Alright, the relationship over here. And this is very important. Okay, the relationship and the interaction. Okay, the relationship plus interaction. Okay, not plus. The relationships that leads to interactions will determine. Okay, determine what? Will determine where or which stage, which development stage a tourist destination region goes into. Their interaction will determine this. Okay, so that is for topic 1. So topic 1 has a lot of basic information. Please go and look out for keywords such as carrying capacity, such as all the stages, okay, and perhaps also all the naming conventions or the factors of the 3 ideas over here: the motivation to travel, ability to travel, and mobility in travel. Let's go on to the 4th segment. Okay, I put the 4th segment over here. Okay, the 4th segment, okay, which is the how do different personalities or characteristics of tourists affect tourist destination region. Alright, so in this part over here, it is actually very related to motivation to travel, ability to travel, and mobility to travel. Okay, these are very related, and you can see that there are actually 2 types of tourists. One is the dependable, okay, and the other is the venturer. Alright, so the dependent and venturers they are very different. Okay, what are they different? In that sense that these are a spectrum of personality characteristics. Of course, as we all learn, okay, personalities may determine, okay, how a person travel, and this affects, okay, can everyone please write down the demand, okay, of tourism, right? And first of all, we talk about the spending pattern. Okay, the spending pattern, okay, the dependables, they are more conscious about spending money, okay, while the venturers, they spend money readily. That does not mean that the venturers are richer. It's just the concept of how they spend certain money. Next, you have the source of influence. Okay, so these dependables, they are usually guided by the authority, right? They are usually guided by travel trends, huge travel trends. They are set usually by the venturers, alright? And usually the venturers kind of personal, right? And it's usually guided by their personal choices. Like for example, last time I used to travel to places that are unusual. For example, like Cambodia, because I wanted to go there to backpack with my friends and also at the same time to learn about the culture. Okay, so it was very different when I was venturer, right? So why do I say when I was? Because right now I'm a dependable, right? I have a family. I am more conscious in spending. I look at travel trends, so on and so forth, right? And last but not least, we look at the preference. Okay, the preference between the two. The preference between the two, right now I prefer structured. I prefer there is a structure because I'm traveling with my kid who is less than 3 years old, so I need to travel with a structure and usually in groups. Okay, I will travel to familiar places. Okay, I won't travel to places that I will not know. Like I will travel to Japan as compared to perhaps Madagascar, as compared to when I was a venturer, right? So venturer, it's usually I travel alone. I explore less developed place. Okay, like I mentioned just now, Cambodia. Okay, and yeah, I'm more likely to travel to new places. Okay, so there's a huge difference between the two, and these personality actually affects, okay, one of the demand factors that affect the growth of tourism, right? So that is all for topic one. Thank you and see you, joggies. Bye.